So as an example of how you can use this document, if I click here on Team 1 article summary and click on that link, you will see that there are the summary notes from Design Team 1 based on the articles that we read on the November 19th PD. So you're going to take 5 minutes to read through your notes and just remember what you thought. If I go back to the design sources, just know that you can go back to the original articles at any time, especially during the prototyping session, if you want to remember a specific model or example or picture that you saw and want to include it in your new school design. You can click on any of these links below. So now we are on step 3 of this first process. You and your team will have 15 minutes to review your particular data set. And remember that 2 people within your team are going to have 2 different sets of data to look at. Within this 15 minutes, you want to choose the top 2 needs that you see overwhelming in your set of data. You will have 2 separate index cards that you will record both the student need or the need present on one side and then the idea to address that need on the other side. So again, in those 15 minutes, you want to identify 2 needs and 2 ideas that you record on 2 separate index cards that you will eventually share with your group. We are now on step 4 of the process. Your group will have 5 minutes to hear the needs and ideas of each group member. Each person will present their 2 index cards and explain the rationale for why they chose the needs that they did. Your group will now have 15 minutes to whittle down the ideas from 14 needs and ideas to 5. And there are 2 suggested processes below. The first one is you group similar ideas into one idea and that 5 major ideas emerge, or each member gets 3 votes and the votes with the most dots rises to the top. So your group will have 15 minutes to choose which process they want to do, as well as discuss further which top 5 ideas are important, and you may return to discussion where you're talking about the rationale and the importance of your idea. You want to leave this process though with roughly 5 key ideas that you will take into the prototype process next. Okay. It is possible at this time that some ideas or perspectives do not go through into the final prototype. That is okay. I will talk about how those ideas can be captured on the prototype design in the final process anyways. We are now going to begin the prototyping process, which we will have 2 hours to complete. So if you scroll down on this design team process, you will see these 5 steps. Your team will have 2 hours to address all of these 5 different areas of the prototype, eventually creating a design that looks like this, that captures the schedule, the description, the philosophy statement, design summary, artifact, and considerations. So the first thing you will start with is creating a philosophy statement. You will want to, as a team, decide what is your school philosophy and how you can synthesize the ideas of your group into one statement. The second step in the process is to come up with a design summary. Together as a group, you will write a descriptive summary that explains how some of your group's prioritized ideas will play out in the new school design. I recommend that your group does the philosophy statement together and the design summary statement together. Those seem to be critical parts of the process where you want to have some discussion, come to some agreement, hash out some ideas. At that point, your group can decide how to move forward. You will have to create a schedule, an artifact, and certain considerations about your design. You can decide to do that whole group, or you can decide if you want to assign these tasks to specific people. The first thing you'll want to create is a bell schedule. This can be of a typical day, a week, a term that captures some of your group's prioritized ideas. You will then want to create an artifact, and this is one area of your school design that you want to highlight or capture in a visual that's not necessarily demonstrated in the design summary. The final thing that you will want to do is list out your considerations. These are possible constraints that exist within your design that have already come to mind, and things that might be hard about implementing your ideas. You'll also want to consider the perspectives that did not make it into this final list of ideas, and I mentioned this earlier. And you might want to think about how you're going to respond to the group's needs that did not get incorporated into the design, what those groups, whether they're teacher needs, staff needs, parent needs, student needs, that didn't get fully addressed in the design. So at this point, your design team has an opportunity to ask your facilitator some questions about the process so that you are clear going forward. Once you've clarified your questions, you and your design team are ready to move forward and start planning your new school design. Have fun and good luck.